Pet Sematary is the latest adaptation of a Stephen King novel. This is the second adaptation of Pet Sematary, and honestly, if you've seen the trailers, the TV spots, the advertising on TV for this movie, you don't have to see this movie literally. I just watched a YouTube video, and the ad before was an ad for Pet Sematary, and it literally gave away two of the biggest plot points in the movie. So yeah, if you've seen the advertising for this movie, if you've seen how this movie's marketed, you literally do not have to see this movie. Pet Sematary focuses on a family that moves from Boston to Maine. And in the back of their house, they have woods. And in the woods, there's this cemetery called Pet Sematary, which is where families go to bury their pets. When the family cat is buried there, stuff starts to happen. And supernatural entities, because horror and Stephen King go well together. I was really looking forward to Pet Sematary because I really enjoyed 2017's It. I thought that was one of the better Stephen King adaptations. Christine's really good as well, but some Stephen King adaptations don't really work. I actually haven't seen the original Pet Sematary, so I can't really compare this one to that one. And with this one, honestly, I don't know if I'm even going to give this movie a grade. I don't know where I stand. Did I like this movie? Did I not like this movie? I definitely didn't love it, and I definitely didn't hate it, but I'm somewhere on a crossroads with this review, because there's a lot to like, and then there's a lot not to like. First of all, the performances are really good. Jason Clarke is in this movie. He plays the father. He's really good. Jason Clarke, to me, he's not really a guy you can bank on to be a leading man in a movie. He's more of a supporting role for me. That's why I feel like he really didn't work in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, whereas somebody like Woody Harrelson or Gary Oldman or James Franco worked better because they're better at playing lead characters than Jason Clarke. Jason Clarke in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes just kind of felt more like he should have been a supporting character, but he does a really good job in this movie as a lead character. Amy Seimetz, I think that's her name. If not, I will correct it down here. But I'm pretty sure that's her name. 99.9%. Oh god. I'm gonna look dumb if I'm part of that 0.1% that's wrong. But she gave probably one of the best performances in the movie. She's got a great character, though. Her character has such a tragic backstory, and just something where you have so much sympathy for her. And I really enjoyed that about her character. John Lithgow's also really good, but the little girl is hands down really friggin' good. I feel like with kid actors now, we're getting better ones. Hollywood is casting better ones. Thank you, and this girl is going places. Look out for her. Don't know her name, but look out for her. It's just some of the character development is not there, and that's especially evident with Jason Clarke's character. He's got nothing to it. He's a bland as hell dude. So I feel maybe that's why Jason Clarke doesn't really work as a lead in movies, because his characters aren't that developed. I felt there could have been some stuff with John Lithgow. We find out something about him, and it's never really touched upon again. It's kind of like that creepy, old guy who's, lives in Hickville, who's just hey, yo, get off my property! He kind of seems like just, one of those guys. There's a passing line that something did happen, and that he actually did that. So I give him a little bit of a pass for that, but I wanted a little bit more with his character. There's also some imagery in this movie that I feel like doesn't make sense, or it goes unexplained. For instance, I feel like the book, because I haven't read the book, I feel like the book would explain this more, but the use of the speeding trucks didn't really see the connection there, other than to be used as a plot device. I won't say what that plot device is, but other than that, I really did not see the connection there. There's also something that happens in the beginning of the movie where I was like, why is this even happening? How is this going to connect later on? And I might have missed an explanation, but I feel as if it really didn't. And that's kind of where this movie falters for me, is that, yeah, movies shouldn't have all these scenes of exposition, but at the same time, if you put stuff in here that I feel doesn't really connect to the actual narrative itself, then that should be left on the cutting room floor. this entire thing, every time I went back to it, I just didn't understand the purpose. Maybe they explained it and I just missed it. Maybe the book does a better job at explaining it. I'm not sure. Maybe the 1989 original Pet Sematary movie does a better job at explaining it. I'm not really too sure, though. And I gotta say, the first 2/3 of this movie I thought were very suspenseful. They were very thrilling. They kept me guessing, had me on the edge of my seat. There are some jump scare-ish parts. It does feel a bit cheap at times, but for the most part, it leaves you with that terrifying, disturbed feeling, you know? Whereas the third act just ventures more into a horror movie throwdown. Final act of the movie is really full of cliches, and it just wasn't as compelling as the first 2/3 of the movie, which I thought were great, other than some things not working in there, like trying to connect everything or trying to explain stuff. And that's another problem this movie runs into. It explains a lot, and sometimes it feels like you understand it, and then it just cuts back to this thing I was talking about earlier, and it's like, oh, how? In the ending, the very ending of the movie, I hate when movies just stop. There's no, like, definitive ending. Sure, you can have a cliffhanger. This could be seen as a cliffhanger ending because it's like, oh, what's gonna happen next? Oh my god! But at the same time, like, you can have a cliffhanger, but, like, give it some finality. I didn't feel like this movie had that sort of finality with this cliffhanger. The movie just kind of halts. It just stops. Doesn't really do much in that final scene. I wanted them to explain the lore a little bit more, because there's just some stuff in here that, again, I feel like just doesn't connect. And I didn't understand the purpose of some of this stuff. The thing I was talking about before, there's something else in here that really doesn't make that much sense. It was weird. And, like, I like the zaniness of the movie. I like how it just goes for it, you know? But, like, for instance, it just leaves a lot of things unexplained. And I have questions about that stuff. Also, cliche. Horror movie cliches in this movie. That is the Google research scene. Because every horror movie has to have one. Literally, Jason Clarke's character is literally just sitting on his laptop, Googling what is happening. And it shows you what happens. And I'm like, oh, well, we got the Google research scene. We cannot get a horror movie without these Google research scenes, can we? Yeah, it's got cliches like that. And that's kind of what the third act is full of. It's just horror movie cliches. Jump scares, blood, guts, stuff like that the first 2/3 didn't really have to rely on. And I really appreciated that about this movie, except for the third act. Wasn't really too keen on the third act. So again, I mean, I don't know. I'm at a crossroads with this movie. I just can't make up my mind whether or not I liked it or disliked it. So that's my review for Pet Sematary. Guys, thank you for watching. You guys can subscribe at the end of this video. Check out some other videos I have done. I will leave the official link to my website in the description below. Also, check out our merch store on TeePublic. I, along with a friend of mine, he created this page called Cinemania on Facebook. I am a part of that page, and we have our own merchandise. We sell t-shirts, laptop cases, hoodies, pencil cases, stuff like that, coffee mugs. If that's your type of thing, I definitely go for the t-shirts. We have a bunch of different logos. We have our original logo, the horror logo, all of that. Just go to TeePublic, search Cinemania. There's always a bunch of deals going on TeePublic, so definitely check that out when you get a chance. I will leave the link to our merch store in the description below as well. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. My name is Alex Madden, and I'll see you at the movies somewhere.